This week on the Road with Mickey, part one of a two-part series on Disney foods that need to return. This week, we're looking at foods that have been gone for more than a year.
We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go. We're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie.
And she's Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
And he's Grogu. He's like, I love food.
Yes, Grogu,
Just
I
like
know.
the rest of us.
Yeah, we all love food, Grogu. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Frog legs, soup, macarons. He has a very refined palate.
And he can have my frog legs because I'm not a huge fan of them. I've had them, and they weren't my fave. They weren't my jam. So
I like
so he can
chocolate
have
frogs.
mine. Well,
Good.
chocolate frogs, yeah, that's a big deal.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, our feature topic this week is part one of a two-part series on Disney foods that need to return. And we're prefacing this one on looking at foods that have been gone for more than a year. But before we get into that, we are going to do some cheddar from the big cheese. And I'm starting us off. And over at Walt Disney World, the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in the Magic Kingdom will be closing on January 6th, 2025 for a multi-year refurbishment. Looking at a reopening sometime in 2026, this is likely part of the process of creating the Cars and Villains lands.
Yeah,
So
that's a
get
long
your
time.
rides in before
Mhm.
January 6th. January 5th is the last time it's running until it reopens.
We're gonna
So
get our rides in.
got to get our rides in. Yeah.
Look, I'm really, really excited for both of those lands, especially the villain's land, but really,
Really?
I don't want it to be closed.
I know. I know. But you got to factor in it's right over by Rivers of Tomorrow. They got to like drain it and fill it and all that to make the Cars Land area somehow.
You're
I don't know.
right.
I'm
I'm
no
kind of wondering
Imagineer.
though why they have to close. This is just me, but I'm wondering why they have to close Big Thunder Mountain, but they're not closing Tiana's. They're right next to each other. Like
Yeah.
what
Well,
the
I
heck?
guess Tiana's is closer to Adventureland. Like, for that same reason, Haunted Mansion is very close to the Rivers of
Yeah.
Tomorrow, but
But
it's
it's not
closer to
closing.
Fantasyland and it's not getting closed. I think it's because Big Thunder Mountain is right in that corner,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess.
I guess
and
so.
and Tiana's not. And also, I also heard that for the normal Splash Mountain, Tiana Mountain, Tiana Bayou
Yeah.
refurbishment for next year, they're not doing it, and that makes sense because Tiana's is so brand new anyway with
Right.
the everything they did. So that normal refurbishment for Tiana in the winter will not be happening, is what I heard. So,
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Well,
all
that
right.
makes me feel better. But speaking of Tiana's, over at Disneyland, I have some cheddar where Tiana's Bayou has not opened over there yet. But it is set to open November 13th, and those who are in the park will have a little preview 2 days before with Lewis's Critter Club, which is the gift shop for the attraction, and it is going to be opening on November 11th, so 2 days before the opening of Tiana's.
Quick,
Awesome.
slight correction, Sophie.
Yeah?
Lewis's opens on November 13th. Tiana opens November 15th.
Oh,
Sorry for the
whoops.
confusion.
Well,
Something
either
to look
way,
forward
it's
to.
still going to be opening around that time.
Hmm.
Well, we have big news finally coming from Disney that we've all been waiting for also. The list of narrators and the information on dining packages for the candlelight processional were finally announced yesterday. So the list is online of all the narrators, and we can book dining packages for it beginning on October 29th.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm
I've got
excited.
clients. I got clients that were waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
Me too.
Yeah. So
Very excited. And
So
what's
what-
funny is I'm going to be seeing Chrissy Metz, and I just finished reading her book.
and
Really?
who is Chrissy Metz?
Chrissy Metz plays Kate in This Is Us. And
Oh, okay.
This Is Us was uber popular, but I never watched it when it was like when it started. So I started watching it like recently, and I just read Chrissy's book, and then she was announced to be there during our trip. So I get to see her, which is I think
Wow.
is great, and I'm excited. Who are you seeing?
We're
Whoopi
seeing Whoopi
Goldberg.
Goldberg, and which
Ah,
is who we saw the first year.
yes.
But
And
I
that,
really
so that's
liked how
funny.
she did it, so
She
I'm
Good.
did an
happy to see her
excellent
again.
job. She did
That's
an
great.
excellent job. I was
That's
hoping we would see someone else, but she's going to do an excellent job this year too. I'm certain of it. And,
Yay.
and my mom, she hasn't seen it, so this will be really special.
Well, Chrissy's a little spiritual girl, so I'm happy to see her do it. I don't know that she's been there before. I don't remember, but I'm excited. It's going to be great. And we have breaking news right now. Universal has just announced that Epic Universe will open May 22nd, 2025. Select tickets will go on sale October 22nd.
Ooh,
Whoa.
I'm excited because that's where the Ministry of Magic land is going to be for the Harry Potter.
Exactly. Yes. And many
Yeah.
other
Oh,
great
I'm
ones.
excited.
That
My question is it connected to the other two parks like they are, or is it too far
No,
away for that?
no, it'll have to be transportation will have to be taken over. But
Got
the
it.
resorts that will be opening there in Epic Universe will have complimentary transportation to the other two parks, the current parks.
Okay.
So it'll
Okay.
work out. It'll be good. I'm
It
That
will
makes
excited.
me
work
feel
out.
better.
Yeah, this is huge. That is huge.
Huge.
Really, really
Yes.
huge.
And you heard it here first.
That's
Probably
right.
not, but maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Anyway, in our notes, we always have our ways you can connect with us. We have our Facebook page, we have our Facebook group, YouTube channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave us a comment and let us know what food you are missing from Disney that you used to really nosh on. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have our Instagram channel and our email address, info@ontheroadwithmickey.com. So that takes us to our feature topic. This is part one of a two-part series. Next week, we will do part two. And what we are doing is looking at Disney foods that need to return. Need. Like Mike needs that food back. Come on. I've got like the DTs just thinking about it.
Oh, Daddy.
And in this instance, this one we're looking at is things that are gone for more than a year. Okay. And I'm not starting us. Brenda and Sophie are going first, but I'm going to say that this was super hard for me. I don't know why, because I love food, but it was super hard. I guess I'm getting old, Brenda. I don't remember.
Oh,
But
no, that's
Mm,
not it. No, you just get
oh,
to
okay.
still
no.
nosh on your favorites, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Daddy and I are lucky in that way.
Mhm.
But
So
Aunt Brenda, this
Yeah.
episode really was tailor-made for you.
Oh, is that
So,
right?
yeah. Yeah, because we always hear about you missing certain foods that you really, really like but aren't there anymore. So, why don't you go first?
Well, okay. I'm gonna go first with I'm gonna go first with the thing I think I complain about the most.
Go right ahead.
squeaky wheel and all that.
I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I miss Ohana's bread pudding with bananas Foster sauce.
That's
I
right.
prefer it by far to the new one with the caramel sauce. And I don't know how many people agree, and I'd love to know in the comments if anyone agrees with me. But I loved the banana Foster sauce. On it, it had just more depth of flavor in my opinion, and I'm a bread pudding person, so I want to know what other people thought.
You
Well,
know
You know,
what's
see,
we've been
funny?
going to Ohana every single trip for 20 something years, and I got kind of spoiled, I guess, on things being the way they were, and then they changed it. When they first reopened after COVID, they changed drastically, and I did not like that menu at all. But I like the menu now. I don't like the way they're doing the chicken in the sauce in a pan. I like having the steak and the chicken and the shrimp on the skewers. I prefer that way, but mostly I really, really miss the bread pudding with bananas Foster sauce. So
well,
that's
you
my
know what,
first
Aunt
one.
Brenda?
Ah,
Nobody can fault you for that because that is completely understandable.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
if someone doesn't like the fact that we're complaining on this episode, they can click off.
yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
I hope that other people love the one with the caramel sauce that they're serving now. I don't want anybody to be, disappointed or anything, but especially if they've never been when they did the bananas Foster sauce. They're not missing anything, and the bread pudding is good.
Hmm.
And that was
If I
us. We had
remember
never been to
correctly,
Ohana with the
yeah.
banana
Yeah.
Foster sauce.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the new bread pudding is pineapple and caramel. Like it has little pieces of pineapple in the bread pudding and it's good, but they serve it cold.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it always had ice cream on it, but it was warm with ice cream on.
Mhm.
It just is
It
it's just
sounds
different.
like it would be so much better if they served it warm.
Yeah.
It was really good.
And
Yeah.
I miss
you
it.
know, simply put, those are the reasons why Gurr's bread butter pudding at
Uh,
Raglan Road is better. There. Thanks
please,
for
you
joining
know,
us. Have a nice day.
I swear, when Raglan Road opened, when they reopened and they changed their menu, when they got their new chef several years ago and they changed their menu, I literally wrote an email to the manager of the restaurant and said, please do not take Gurr's bread and butter pudding off of the menu. And he said, we will not.
He's
That
like,
So
is
I'm
so
counting on that.
kind of him that he replied to you though.
Yeah, he's
that is
very
really
kind.
cool.
I've met him in person a few times, but I
Wow.
hope they never take it off there because it will be just horrible. I
Yeah,
don't even want
Oh.
to think about it.
Then don't think about it. It's not real. It can't hurt you.
that's right.
Do you
Well,
Oh
have
my
do you
anything
gosh.
want me to
else?
continue or do you want to
Yeah. You
okay, well,
continue and then I'll list all of mine and Daddy will go last.
okay, that sounds good. So next on my list is Whispering Canyon Cafe inside Disney's Wilderness Lodge, and I love Whispering Canyon Cafe. We have had so much fun there through the years with the asking for ketchup and the horse, pony rides with the stick horses and all that. It's been a great place, but I do miss a few menu items. For breakfast, I miss the house-made banana bread French toast with bananas Foster sauce. Sorry, but I like bananas Foster sauce. I miss the Cajun Chad's chocolate chip buttermilk flapjacks.
Ooh.
And for dinner, I miss the s'mores dessert. I used to love the s'mores dessert, and they don't have that anymore. So I miss those three items specifically from Whispering Canyon Cafe from when they changed their menu. But I also just in general preferred their previous dinner menu to the current one. I feel like there were more choices. That's just my opinion.
Mm, I see.
Oh,
You love your bananas Foster sauce.
Well, you know what?
on a
That's okay.
bread-based thing, I think it really tastes good.
Maybe
You know what's
someday
funny
I
is
will learn how to make something with bananas Foster
You gotta
sauce.
set it
I
on
don't
fire.
I don't know that I've ever had bananas Foster sauce.
My mother used to make it sometimes. She'd make us a fancy dessert and she'd set that pan on fire. And
Wow.
it was just fun.
We'll see. I don't
Oh,
want to burn down my house for you, Aunt Brenda.
no, thank you. I don't want you to either.
Yeah.
Uh, my next thing is not foods in particular. It's restaurant. Um, I miss when Be Our Guest at Magic Kingdom was quick service for both breakfast and lunch.
Bingo. I miss
Mm,
that too.
I really, they had great food too. I mean, they had great choices, and it was, it was really the breakfast went to like a pre-fee thing with pastries and entrees and stuff, but it was really good. And I'd liked for people and my guests to have the opportunity to go into Be Our Guest and see the restaurant without having to pay a fortune for a dinner experience. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
And we
Is
were
there
there.
anything from there that isn't on the menu now?
well, the breakfast and lunch are not like there's
Oh,
no
wait.
breakfast now,
You're right.
and then lunch and dinner are the same,
Mhm.
and they're table service.
Mm.
And it's expensive. I mean, I'm sorry, it's expensive. I liked it when it was quick service lunch. I liked quick service breakfast especially. I'm a breakfast kind of person.
Oh, yeah, I think we all are.
Oh,
Because
that's all.
breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yeah, you got to break your fast.
We actually ate there for quick service lunch when it first opened, and they had a reservation system for getting your access to have the quick service meal, and it was like a hit or miss thing, and we were able to get it.
Yeah,
And that was in 2012
yeah.
when Carrie and Neil and River and Isaiah went with us, and we were able to all eat together, because it was like we were there and they were somewhere else, and then they were able to get it. Um, so,
Oh, that's awesome.
but that was a really unique way of getting your access to the quick service because they
Mm.
were so popular.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone wanted to be
Yeah.
there, and it was
Oh, yeah.
good, and it was so neat. Like you said, it was so neat to be in there and see how the castle looked inside because that
So
was
gorgeous. Yeah.
really cool.
Hmm.
It was the only quick service that required reservations that I ever
Mhm.
remember.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because it was so popular.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But it was a great choice, and I miss that. I
I
wish they'd
think
bring
if
Yeah.
I
that back.
remember correctly, I had the gray stuff,
Oh, yeah. Gotta have the gray stuff.
which is good because I can still get it at Gaston's.
Yep.
But anyway, anything else, Aunt Brenda?
I do. I have just a couple more. One is I'm going way back. Not going so far back for the restaurant, but this is the Spirit of Aloha Luau at the Polynesian Village.
Mm.
During my first trip in 1979, we went there, and at that time, it was a lot different than it had become more. I don't even know what to call it. It's like during that time, it was kind of fancier, like people dressed for it, and um like the luau girls would call like one man up and one woman up and like teach them the hula and stuff, and it was just different. And then it became this thing where, oh, anyone who wants to come up on stage, well, of course everybody wanted to go up on stage, and it became a very just crowded, commotion feeling kind of atmosphere.
Mm.
Mhm.
So I miss like the Spirit of Aloha from like the late 70s, early 80s time. But I also miss their Aloha pulled pork, which was awesome. It was served in chipotle sauce, and it was so good. It was so good on the menu. It was my favorite thing on the menu at the time. And that Hawaiian bread, but I can get that Hawaiian bread over there at Ohana. And last on my list is the Bon Voyage Adventure Character Breakfast, which was at Trattoria Al Forno, which was the only character breakfast that had both princesses and
Mhm.
princes, and that had Rapunzel and Flynn and Ariel and Eric, and it was the only one that had both the princess with her prince. And they had really good food. It was a breakfast. It had like they brought pastries first, and then they brought a fruit salad, and then you got to order off the menu. And I used to get the entree that was like steak and like cheesy eggs with the
Mm.
cottage potatoes, and it was really good food. But I really liked the experience of that unique character dining where you got to also have princes
Mm.
in the restaurant. So
That's
have I
cool.
complained enough?
These aren't complainings. You know what this is, Brenda? This is three.
Reminiscing.
This is three things. One, it's a trip down memory lane for Brenda.
Yeah, that's true.
Two, it is a remembering of wonderful times at Disney. So
Hmm.
sort of the same thing. And three, it is a very in my face way of looking at how much Sophie and I and Cindy have not done at Disney. Because you look at that list, which is in our show notes,
Hmm.
we never had the bread pudding with banana Foster sauce. We never had the banana French toast with the sauce. We never had the chocolate chip buttermilk flapjacks or the s'mores dessert. We did have be our guest quick service lunch once.
But not
We
breakfast.
but not breakfast. We never did Spirit of Aloha, and we never ate at the Bon Voyage. Although I did book that for dining reservation for some of my clients over the years. So,
Hmm.
but yeah,
Well,
there's a whole lot that we haven't done.
yeah, Disney, if you're listening, can you bring it back? Can you bring some back? Give us a break,
That would be awesome.
please. Please,
See, she said, please.
please.
Disney, you know
Come
what?
on.
Come on,
This
Josh,
is one of,
tomorrow. She said, please.
yeah, yeah. And you can't deny my Aunt Brenda. She is the sweetest thing on earth.
Aww.
Exactly. Walt
Except
said
maybe the bread
he
pudding
would
with
have
the
done it.
banana foster
He would have
sauce.
brought it back.
Hmm.
I think so.
Anyway.
I think he would. He really liked to listen to the people. He used to stand at the gate at Disneyland when people were leaving and ask them.
Hmm. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come up with the idea for Disney World because I remember he was standing at the gate and he saw people leaving at like 3 in the afternoon and he was like, "Hi, how was your day?" And they were like, "It was great." And he's like, "Is there anything wrong with my park?" And they said no. And he said, "Why are you leaving then?" And they said, "Well, we have to get back home and go to work tomorrow."
Well,
And
and also they were
they
able to
saw
see the traffic from
the
the
traffic.
skyway, and they saw
Hmm.
the highway getting busy. So they were leaving, and he's like, "Oh no, I don't want people to be able to see the outside world when they're inside the park." Boy, he
Yeah,
Exactly.
accomplished that with Walt Disney World, didn't he?
Sure did.
definitely.
Sure
We are
did.
in our bubble, and we are happy, happy, happy.
Yes,
Happy, happy,
indeed.
happy.
Hmm.
Well, almost happy because there are still a few things missing.
Yeah. Well, we are still happy though. All
Yeah.
right, Sophie,
Yeah.
it's your turn.
All right. I
I'll
should
type,
preface this.
hopefully.
I am lucky, and my dad is too, in that a lot of our favorite foods are still at Disney World. They were there when I was little, they're there now, and they will most likely continue to be there unless something really, really weird happens.
Mhm.
But as a result of that, we are at a severe disadvantage when it comes to this episode because we don't have a lot of to talk about. So I was thinking, what on earth am I going to find at Walt Disney that isn't there anymore? Because that's the thing. You have to look for something that no longer exists in the context of where you're looking. So I was like, let me do a quick Google search late at night and find what people really, really miss. And I came across this Reddit thread, honestly, where people were talking about foods that they miss and the restaurants that they were at. And one thing that stuck out to me as I was looking at that Reddit thread was there were a lot of people talking about the Main Street Bakery on
Mm.
Main Street, USA. And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to be honest, that Main Street Bakery really isn't there anymore. It's there in name, but you might as well call it the Disney Starbucks.
Yeah.
And so I did more research and I pulled up a list, a menu from 2012 that belonged to the Main Street Bakery, and you wouldn't recognize it now. I compared it to the list from now. It is not the same at all. Not the same at all. Like, for instance, I have the menu pulled up right here so that I can talk about it. The only thing that you might think is still there would be the warm cinnamon roll, and it's shaped like Minnie Mouse now. That's the only thing that is still there, and maybe the ham, egg, and cheese croissant, because those are things that you would get at Starbucks too. But they don't have the chocolate croissant, they don't have the apple turnover, they don't have the crumb cake, and most importantly of all, they don't have this thing called the French toast loaf, which isn't even on the 2012 menu, but there are pictures of it out there, and it looks so good. So good. And basically what it is it's actually 3 pieces of French toast made the same way, but you put it in the pan with the egg wash and whatnot and the maple syrup and whatnot, and you bake it like that so that it forms its own loaf of bread made out of 3 pieces of French toast.
Goodness.
It
Oh, wow.
sounds so good, and I'm tempted to try it because it sounds a lot like a French toast casserole that my family will make for Christmas and whatnot.
Goodness.
But it was apparently a go-to back in the day, and I have never tried it.
Me
Ever.
neither.
Because we were so used to eating breakfast at the resorts we stayed at and then going to the park, we didn't stop for a second breakfast. Though maybe
Yeah.
we should. We should have channeled our
Sometimes
inner hobbit.
sometimes we would, but we were hashtag uncrustable or hashtag cinnamon roll.
I was hashtag Tonga toast.
Yeah.
I'm still on team Tonga toast.
Which
It
is
sounds
fair.
similar but less involved.
And that's the thing. The Uncrustable was basically my rations when I was at Disney. Especially when I was little. I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I have even elevated my current peanut butter and jelly sandwich recipe to be more like the Uncrustable because the Uncrustable has inside of the little bread pouch, it is 2 layers of peanut butter and 1 giant thick layer of jelly. Well, my
Ah,
new recipe calls for 3 pieces of bread with peanut butter and jelly in between each of them. It's a triple decker. I love
sounds
the
good.
Uncrustables.
Now you should fry it up and make your own
Fried peanut
thing you
butter
were
and
talking
jelly.
about.
You know
Fried
what?
toast on the thick toast, and that would be the
French
center like
toast.
Tonga toast, except
And
Tonga
then
toast is
powder it with
banana.
confectionery sugar.
Yes, that
I
Ooh.
will do
sounds
you one
great.
better and I'll make a French toast Monte Cristo.
Oh,
Okay?
those are good.
Because Monte Cristos, those are still a thing over in Disneyland, but they are not a thing as they once were because they changed the recipe. They changed the recipe, and a lot of people are upset about that.
Uh-oh.
So I'll stick to my recipe instead.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
They need to bring some of these back.
Well, they do
Yeah.
have the cinnamon roll still. It's just
Yeah.
not the same.
That one, they probably knew that it would be not a good thing to take the cinnamon roll. I mean, that was like the Walt Disney World staple breakfast in the park.
Oh, yeah. And now you
Yeah.
can go back to Gaston's and get it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your turn. I've said what I
Okay.
came to say.
Well, you know what? If anyone doesn't know, Sophie is my kid
Mm.
because I'm talking about how the Main Street Bakery is no longer the Main Street Bakery
I'm
and
so
how
sorry, Daddy.
that's okay. And
I'm
the funny
sorry.
thing is, the cinnamon roll at Gaston's is still there. You know, you can still get your cinnamon roll, but the cinnamon roll at the Main Street Bakery was lights out better than the cinnamon roll at Gaston's, in my opinion. And that's
100%.
really all that matters to me, is my opinion. But I do not find the cinnamon roll at Gaston's to be nearly as good as the cinnamon roll at the Main Street Bakery. And so
Well, I can
that
tell you
was
why.
the number one. Well, because it's not as good. I just know why it's not as
And they
good.
don't serve it warm. Like they'll put it under a
Yeah, it's
heat
not
lamp,
as
but it's
warm.
not the same.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway,
Um,
continue.
so that was the first thing that I came across in my thoughts was how the Main Street Bakery, walking down Main Street, you would go in there, you had spots to sit, you could enjoy your breakfast if you were eating there. You
Yeah.
could just, it was just a relaxing go to
Yeah.
place. And they had the best cinnamon rolls. Now you have to go all the way past the castle, go around. You got to go around it because the castle's usually not open. You got to go all the way over to here and go in towards Gaston's, and you got to go into Gaston's. You got to wait in line because everyone else wanted a cinnamon roll. So there's 500 people waiting in line at Gaston's for a cinnamon roll, and then you get yours, and you can't ever find a place to sit because it's not as much seating and it's all taken. So you end up walking all the way back in front of the castle before you find a trash can that you sit in and you kind of eat your cinnamon roll right by the
Oh
trash
man,
can.
that sounds horrible.
Well, maybe it's
Well,
not that bad, but
it's not
it's
that bad anymore, but it
yeah.
was that bad when it first
Yeah.
started.
But anyway, so the
I hate
cinnamon
when they
roll,
change the menu, when they change the item.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
not that the item is gone, like we were saying. The cinnamon roll
Right.
is still there. I will tell you, when Sophie and I had our day at Hollywood Studios, just the two of us, and we went. This is for her 21st birthday, and we went back near where the original um, Toy Story Mania was, and there was a little cart that had cinnamon rolls,
Hmm.
and we got one there, and it was really good actually.
It
It wasn't
was.
it wasn't a Main Street bakery cinnamon roll, but it was
Yeah.
warm and it was tasty and it was
Well, that
really
was
good.
good. That's where
So,
the Joffrey's is back there.
yes,
Yep,
right there next to the
that's
Joffrey's.
actually,
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
they
Well,
is
were
they
right
like
next
also
to it.
carts
had
side by side.
when the writer stop was there and they had my famous carrot cake cookie.
I was
It
surprised
was
you didn't
like
say that.
this thick. Well, because you can still get a carrot cake cookie at the Trolley Car Cafe. It's not
Ah,
gone
Okay.
away. But it used to be like this much icing in between the two layers of carrot cake. And now it's like this much. They changed the carrot cake cookie from the original writer stop one that was so good. Now I still love it. It's still my favorite snack, but it's not the same. They changed it.
So it's changed. And that's, I mean, change is inevitable in a lot of
Yeah.
things. And that's not necessarily a negative. Um, it's just that we remember our memories. And I remember at the Garden Grill, the menu right now is really good with the beef, with the chimichurri and all that, and the chicken. Is it turkey or chicken? And they have another side. They used to have fish, I think, or maybe they still do, but something changed, and I can't remember exactly what it was that changed from the current menu to the previous menu years ago when we would go there. Um, and so, but what was funny is when Sophie was a little girl, we loved the Garden Grill so much that she would say that her first date, her boyfriend was going to drive her to Epcot to go on their first date to eat
Oh,
at the Garden Grill.
that's a
And
long way to go.
that is quite a commitment for a first date. So,
Daddy instilled some very high standards in me, and
yes,
probably for the better.
I'm
yes,
sure for the
definitely
better.
for the better. So, anyway, there was something that changed, and I'm horrible about this. I don't remember exactly what that something was, but there was something that changed at the Garden Grill. Now,
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
gonna
it was the family style menu. I remember when I was younger, the Garden Grill had a menu where you could actually pick what you wanted.
well, they did, but it was family style then too, and then you picked what you wanted or more. I don't remember, but
Mm.
I think some of the options had changed.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying the Garden Grill is bad because we still love to go to the Garden Grill. We
Mhm.
go to the point that we are looking at something else for our candlelight processional dining because we go to the Garden Grill too often. And so we want to try something different. So we're going to be looking at Rose and Crown for our
Mm.
candlelight processional dinner.
Oh.
Hopefully, we'll be able to get a reservation. And
Yay.
but anyway, so um, So it's not that the Garden Grill is not good anymore. It is really wonderful, and I love the Garden Grill. I just remember something specifically standing out, and I'm sorry I don't remember what it was. But it's funny that Sophie and I both had the Main Street Bakery on our list of changes that weren't for the better, and how the cinnamon rolls then were better than the cinnamon rolls now.
That is
I
too
even took a
funny.
closer look at the Minnie Mouse cinnamon roll that exists on the menu right now, and it is drizzled in icing, but the icing is themed for Halloween because it's pink and green, and it has a white chocolate bow on top of it. And I saw a picture, doesn't look that good.
And see, I didn't know that Main Street Bakery Starbucks had a cinnamon roll anymore.
Mm,
Because now we just go blowing right by it for a couple of reasons. One, because it's not Main Street Bakery anymore, and two, because it's Starbucks and it's inevitably 100 people waiting in line. It feels like
and more
so.
expensive, yeah.
So we don't often go in there anymore. I guess I should go in next time just to see what it looks like now. You know.
I will say, Daddy, the line at Gaston's has gotten significantly shorter over the years. And so that's why I don't mind Gaston's as much as I did when it first opened and we were having to go through that wild goose chase just to eat,
Hmm.
because they still have the cinnamon roll and it's still huge and it is good. But I think a lot less people are dying to get it now. And so that might make it more worth it for us.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the very least, if I don't want that, I can just go get my gray stuffed cupcake and I'll be just fine.
There you go. And I did think of one other thing I want to mention because Brenda kind of highlighted it on changes to venues, how she misses the quick service at Be Our Guest, and I do too. I mean, I we only ate there the one time for lunch, and it was really good. It was really good.
Hmm.
Um, but what I miss is not the food at this restaurant; it's the interaction, and I miss Liberty Tree Tavern
Oh, with the
characters
oh.
with with Minnie Mouse dressed up in her um what is it? Revolutionary War costumes
The
and
colonial
Oh,
era,
they were
yeah.
colonial
so
era.
cute.
And I
Hmm.
miss that. That was so cool.
It
And
was.
who else was there? Was it Chippendale?
Surely Mickey. Surely Mickey was there too.
I'm not sure if
I thought
Mickey was
I don't
there.
know. I thought it was just Minnie.
We
Liberty
had
Tree Tavern character dining.
I'm gonna look up too.
I
Let's
only
see.
remember Minnie for some reason. Maybe it's because I just loved her so much. I don't know.
No, I remember Minnie too. It looks like Pluto was there too.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we have Pluto and we had Minnie. Here we go. Here's a couple pictures. I'll share.
That was a very sweet experience.
It was. You sharing them, Daddy? There we
There's
go.
one.
Oh,
You and Riley on your actual birthday, and we ate at the Liberty Tree Tavern.
So
And
cute.
yes, adorable girls, all
yeah.
grown up now. And then
And then Pluto.
yeah,
Oh,
So cute.
nice
oh my
red
gosh,
eyes.
I
Look at the
have.
devil eyes.
Stop it. You take that picture down.
There you go. But isn't Minnie adorable?
I will
Yes.
say, I'm a really big history buff when it comes to women's clothing through the years, and that dress she's wearing looks really expensive. For the time that it is, that looks upper class.
Yeah. So anyway, so I missed that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that Liberty Tree is not good because Liberty Tree we ate there on Sophie's birthday um trip, and
Yeah.
we ate there. We had a whole group of people there, and it
Mhm.
was it was so it was so good, and it was really a good time. Um, It's just, but I miss the characters. I'm a
Yeah.
I'm a character dad, so there you go.
Character dad.
Again, guard and grill. Don't
Yeah,
fix what isn't broken.
exactly, exactly. So anyway, there you go. So that's what I have on my list. So I ended up having more than thought I was going to have.
There you go.
So,
And if
Never
I'm
but
know.
honest, Daddy, I'm
mhm,
pretty sure there are things on the Liberty Tree Tavern menu that aren't there anymore.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
I'm sure there are. You're right.
Yeah. But that's that. Anything else?
That's all I have. So that wraps up our feature topic. So that's the question. I'm going to post the question of the week. What items from Disney gone by do you miss? Disney food items do you miss and wish were back? I'll post it in the Facebook group. Let's see if we get any feedback. Let's see if we have listeners like Brenda who
Hmm.
remember things from 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I'm sorry, 50 years ago, 45 years
Daddy.
ago. Or let's see if we have people like Mike who doesn't remember what he ate for lunch yesterday.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Right?
Just because you need to date Aunt Brenda does
Yeah,
not make
exactly. I don't
her.
need the help.
Hmm.
No, I'm not dating Aunt Brenda. I'm just showing how incredible her memory is going back all that
But it
time
was
because
45 years ago. I didn't realize it.
she was
Hmm.
just a little girl,
I was
you
Yeah.
know?
15.
You're
I
right.
was dating Butch. I cried on that trip because I had to leave Butch.
Oh,
Oh, you're so
Yeah,
adorable.
my mother wouldn't bring him with us.
Well,
Daddy,
would you have?
Jonathan.
Yeah, I often brought my friends, my kids' friends on our trips that had never been to Disney. Often.
Okay.
Hmm. I think she knew there was something more between you two, and she's like,
I,
they will have plenty of time to go on their
I
own.
think she did too.
Yeah.
I think she knew right away.
I'm going to get Jonathan to Disney one day, Daddy.
Well, I have no doubt of that. I have no doubt of that. But,
Well,
you guys have to figure that out on your own.
I know we do. Is there anything else?
No. So, it is now time for this day in Disney history for October 21st. So, Sophie, take it away.
I have some great history, and I think you guys are going to love this.
Yay!
The year is 1911. October 21st, a graphic designer and illustrator is born Mary Brown Robinson in McAlester, Oklahoma. Guess what her name will come to be?
Mary Brown
Mary Blair.
Robinson.
Mary Blair. She is known
Wow.
as Mary Blair. Starting at the Disney Studios in 1940, her unique color stylings and design work graced such animated features as Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, and Peter Pan. She also helped design the attraction It's a Small World, painted mural art for Disney's Tomorrowland Promenade, and designed the 90-foot-high ceramic tile mural for Walt Disney World's Contemporary Resort. One of the many studio employees who accompanied Walt Disney on his 1941 South American trip, Blair appeared in Disney's 1942 Saludos Amigos and acted as art supervisor for the 1944 The Three Caballeros. Some of her work from the Three Caballeros was later used in the fiesta scene in El Rio del Tiempo at the Mexico Pavilion in Epcot's World Showcase, which coincidentally was dedicated on this day in 1982. Blair was named a Disney legend in 1991, some 13 years after her death. And there's a quote from another Disney legend, Mark Davis, about her. I knew Mary very well. She was an extraordinary artist, and Walt thought very highly of her. She was the most amazing colorist of all time. Mark
Dude,
Davis.
Nice.
high praise.
Very high
Oh
praise.
Really?
my gosh. High praise.
I
Yes.
saw that and I was like, there's no way I can't talk about her.
No,
Very nice.
absolutely.
Thank
Well
you,
done,
Sophie.
Sophie. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing that.
Thank you.
All right. Do we want to stump the Soph?
I
Good
mean, you
luck.
want to. It's just a matter of if I'll let you.
This is true. And I don't think
I
I'll
don't
be
think I
able
can
to.
beat last week. Last week was my greatest triumph.
That was so fabulous. That was so fabulous. I don't
Oh my
know. You've
gosh,
done
that was
really, 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 really well before.
that was hysterical. I'm like, what? What did you just say?
I've never watched that movie.
Oh, all right. You ready for some characters, Sophie?
I am. Let's hit it.
Edgar.
The Aristocats.
Is it that easy?
Yeah,
How is Edgar that easy?
because he actually makes this spiked cream dish for the cats when he's about to get rid of them, and he calls it creme a la Edgar.
Oh
Well,
my
okay.
gosh, y'all.
Plus, I've seen the
You
movie,
just
so
okay. I thought that one was the hardest. I thought this one might be a little bit easier.
yeah.
Number 2 was the Gabble sisters,
Oh yeah, the goose, the
the
geese.
geese. Okay. You had to think a little bit on that one. Just a moment. And then the third one was I thought was the giveaway
Hmm.
was Duchess.
Oh,
That would have been a
absolutely.
giveaway.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my goodness gracious.
All right, Sophie, I would like
Amazing.
a new Disney movie trivia book for Christmas.
So the thing about it is, Daddy, is I already got you 3. They're just hiding up in my room, so you gotta act surprised.
Well, I will act surprised 'cause I don't know what they are. As long as they're not the Disney Who's Who and A to Z of Disney characters, then they'll be new. And maybe they'll be. You're not reading them, are you?
No, I haven't
Good.
taken them out of their box.
Good.
That
I
is
can't keep a
Brenda,
fabulous.
secret from you.
She scares me to death.
she scares me to death
I'm
too.
telling you.
Wait, I scare you guys?
Oh yeah. I
The
mean, like,
the
Why?
it's like Elon Musk scares me. Like the magnificent brilliance. Like
yeah.
to think like that is like
You
just
think I'm like Elon Musk?
Well, you're beyond Elon Musk,
yeah.
honey.
Hmm.
He is not anything like you.
I bet he doesn't know from Edgar.
I bet he doesn't either. I'll bet he doesn't either. Um,
Oh god. That's fabulous.
that's
Oh, thank you for making me feel better.
I'm not. I
Amazing.
thought
It's
you know what?
amazing.
This is not something we talk about often. I'm like, this will be harder. Not. All right, Brenda. It
All right.
is time for a little bit of Walt.
All right. Ever since the beginning of wisdom, man has fashioned a brighter light and a stronger glass to help him probe deeper and deeper into the marvels of nature's secret world. Often we can't explain what we see, but just looking is always a dramatic and thrilling experience. Walt Disney, he loved nature.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He loved nature. That's why he protected so much of the land out there when he bought
I
it. You can't ever
He
build
never saw Animal Kingdom, but
a
I think if he did, he would be
He would
so
be.
pleased with
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And you know what's really interesting, Brenda,
What?
about your quote today?
Oh, what?
There is no such thing as a coincidence. We all
That's
know
true.
that.
We all know that.
Hmm.
In my one of the emails I get that is a religious commentary, his name is Jim Dennison. He is from Texas.
Oh, cool.
It's called the Dennison Forum. Look it up if you're interested. It's really good. It's non-partisan. It is Christian thoughts on today's world. Okay.
Okay.
And he had in his email today talking about how they have found that there are animals that live underneath the bottom of the ocean, of the bottom of the water in the ocean, like underneath the ground.
Oh,
Hmm.
Somehow, I have no idea. Maybe I read it wrong, but I
No,
don't think so.
I think I've heard something about that in the Mariana Trench. They survive by filter feeding off of the volcanic vents down there that spew up a bunch of minerals and whatnot into the water.
what are they? What kind of animals are they?
They're like
He
worms or something, or
he didn't
eels.
say in this email, but
Wow.
he also pointed out that only 26.1% of the ocean's bottom of the ocean floor has been mapped.
I've heard that
So
before.
there is
It's
a
amazing.
ton of stuff that we have no idea about yet.
That's
But I
right.
just thought your quote and that coming in my email box today, I'm
Yeah.
like, that is just so cool. And there is no coincidence. So I have to
No
mention.
coincidence. I love
So
it. It's fabulous.
it is fabulous. And all of that is part of creation. And there you
Yes.
go. And that's just amazing, you know?
And all of creation, sing with me now.
Hmm.
Sing it,
I
Sophie.
thought Sophie
I
was
don't
going to
know
start.
that. I don't
Ah,
know that
Oh,
song.
sorry. Okay, sorry.
but anyway, so that, my friends, wraps up part one. Part two next
Should
week.
be easier.
Oh, I hope so. Mike, I don't know. You never know the brain of Mike and what he's going to come up with. So, part two, we're looking at the same topic, but we're looking at a shorter window. Things that have only been gone for less than a year.
So it might
Okay.
not be easier.
So, things that we liked that got changed or whatever and aren't as good or aren't there anymore that were less than a year.
Or maybe they're better, but we still liked them before.
Maybe, yeah. And so that is that, and that is our day for today. So we hope you all have a great week ahead. We hope that things are going well for you and that you have a smile on your face. And if you don't, we hope that we brought a smile to your face, especially when Sophie, I thought the word and she knew the movie. I didn't even say it
Exactly.
yet and she already knew it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the time when I love you too, baby. When she's talking about the Main Street Bakery, and the only thing I had on my list at the time was the Main Street Bakery.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry. That's just
Great minds think alike.
That's just who we are. So we hope you have a smile on your face, and if you don't, we hope we brought one to you today. And if you see someone without a smile, maybe share one of yours with them. And we hope you all are doing well, and we look forward to seeing you on the road. So until next time, we will
See you
See
on
you
the
on
road.
the road. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.